Hello, and welcome to another hot and steamy episode of telling everybody everything hot and steamy, because this week in London, it's in the 30s again. So when we first bought the house, Bobby was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't have AC. And I laughed. I said, ha ha, Bobby, homes in the UK do not require air conditioning. It doesn't get that hot here. And that was only 2019. 7 years on, and believe what you wish about global warming, but holy shit. I think what we all need to do, listeners of Telling Everybody Everything, if you can afford it, or if you can make some accommodations to afford it, we need to really consider putting central air in our homes, air conditioners come just December, January, February, March. Like, ask for it for your Christmas and your birthday. That's what I'm doing. And we have to get this house cool for next summer, when it will be God knows what, 40 degrees. In the podcast studio, we do have air conditioning. And if you can hear it in the background, it's because I'm not turning it off. What a week. A lot going on this week. Still a lot of blowback from the Erica Komisar interview. And I don't want to make mothers feel bad. That's the last thing anybody wants to do. But someone commented, because the comments and the emails do not stop. Someone commented like, well, can we have the other point of view? If Erica Komisar believes that you should respond to your baby's needs and co-sleep with them and be physically present as their primary caregiver, in this case, mother, could we have the opposite point of view? And I just feel like co-sleeping mothers have felt isolated. The opposite point of view is the point of view. Those of us who co-sleep, we've got every mother-in-law, not in my case, but every grandma saying, oh, no, let that child cry, put that child to bed. Like, all of society is structured. The government will give you grants for daycare, but not to look after your child in your own home. There's a situation, God, especially in London. Bobby and I were driving around today, both parents have to be working. And even so, because we're about to go visit Sarnia in the summer, and in Sarnia, you can have a nice job and still live a middle-class lifestyle, just like grandparents in London used to be able to. They're like, your mother was a nurse and I drove a taxi and we had a nice house. Well, not anymore. I'm having a glass of wine in a Peppa Pig cup because I didn't want judgment from the babysitter. I used to be able to drink wine all day. I was never wasted, but I would have, at this really sweet spot in my career, Violet was probably 6 or 7 years old, so she was easy, and my star was on the rise, and I was just being wined and dined, lunch meeting. And I would always have a glass of wine or two, again, not hammered. I would have some wine, or if I was writing for my tour, I'd have a glass of wine. If I went to film something, this is back in the days of never mind the Buzzcocks, when they used to get people hammered. Any job you're on with Maya Jama, what a delight that girl is. Glass of wine. And I could bomb around London like that. I could still do my errands. I had a glass of wine once before a personal training session. I was on it. And then I got my driver's license. And now, if I have things to do this afternoon, a glass of white wine won't cut it. Already I'm yawning. And I've turned to energy drinks because I can have a coffee in the morning. But then Red Bull have now come out with flavored. There's a lovely grapefruit one that doesn't taste like Red Bull. When it first came out, when Violet was a baby, I was known to have a sugar-free Red Bull or two. And they made me sick. I couldn't even drink them. I would get headaches and they taste kind of like medicine. But now, this sugar-free grapefruit one, I might treat myself. I might get one later just to make it through the day. I had a tea last night. So my new thing is, Bobby will drink wine in the evening. I might have some in the day if I'm not driving. And then I'll have a tea at 4 p.m. Ooh, just thinking about it now. Will I edit out the yawning? No. It's part of the charm of telling everybody everything. And the tea was delicious. I didn't notice anything wrong with the tea. And then we went to give the children their milk before bed. Not the baby. The baby's drinking breast milk, but Fred and Fenna. And Fred was like, ugh, this milk's disgusting. And then Fenna tasted it. She was like, ugh. So sometimes we don't know if they're doing theater. And Bobby said, here, take this cup of milk and drink it. I said, well, no, I'm having it in my tea. It's fine in my tea. Like, it's not curdled or anything. It feels fine. You drink it. He's like, you drink it. So I had a sip of it, and it was absolutely disgusting. And it wasn't off, but there was something wrong with it. So I went through this like rabbit hole of searching, like, what can be wrong with milk if it's not off, but it tastes gross? And we got this particular milk from Costco. I don't have any problems with Costco, but Bobby especially believes that all milk is created equal. And I say, no, Bobby, like the milk that goes off the first is the best for the kids, has the most nutrients. Like, we do believe in getting it pasteurized, though a lot of families don't have it pasteurized, but I'm not like rolling the dice with that. So it will be like organic, whole milk that is, what else? Like, just from a nice shop. Like, I just feel like the more it costs, the shorter it lasts. Organic and what? No, there's no free range milk. It's something anyway. Anyway, like the most natural milk is what we give them, and then we have to buy like a small carton of it almost every day. But he'll come back from Costco and be like, good news, I got 70 gallons of long life milk. I'm like, fuck, Bobby, like that just isn't milk anymore. So this milk, from what I searched on my phone, it gets like superheated to kill the bacteria. So because of that, in transportation, it can be like on a truck for too long, or like moved from one fridge to the other for too long, and it can like sort of go off without really going off. Then it tastes gross. Anyway, I digress. What I wanted to say, only because it's been bugging me, it's tricky well, one theme in my life this week that I can't really speak about is that sometimes people who are good or have good intentions, like accidentally get involved in something bad or are part of something dishonest or do something malevolent, but without knowing it. So I am still quite friendly with an ex-husband of my girlfriend's. And this is fine. She is still quite friendly with him. We were all friends. Like, it's all good. We're all friendly. And he knows Bobby, and he knows me, obviously, and he doesn't live in this city anymore. And he was like, oh, I might pop by. He's in the industry as well, which is why it's tricky, because I think that this person is good. I know that this person is talented and kind and generous, and they didn't mean to say what they said. But there have been several instances, looking back through our mutual friendship, that their level of wealth and privilege, and even in 2026, their like lack of awareness about that is just like constant. So this person comes from a lot of money. When we knew him, he's from so much money that he just doesn't even think about money. He doesn't pay for things. He very rarely picks up the check. When he was married to my friend, she, like me, was a single mother. This is how we knew each other. And she was paying for everything. It was her money, not his, for everything. Hotels, dinners, plane tickets, everything. And that was fine, because she's the kind of person who was like a single mom anyway. Before she married him, she was like used to paying for everything. She was financially comfortable. That was fine. She's in the industry as well. They are a musician and an actor. So he comes around and we just start talking about like life, the kids, like business, da-da-da-da. And I said, yeah, one thing I'm trying to get better at, I think on my next tour, is filming the shows and putting out clips. I think it's all about now what you have on social media and like digitally. And maybe like, I don't know how much money you earn off of that explicitly, but it just gets your brand out more. It gets people to see your stand-up. It's kind of like advertising for your next stand-up show. And I was saying to him, like, I tried to film my last stand-up show and like I put some clips out, but I was pregnant. Like I put out crowd work clips, and sometimes I didn't put out clips. Like I still have a lot of clips from my last tour that I haven't put out. I'm like, oh, I just need to get better at it. I'm 43. It's like, doesn't come naturally to me. And he thought about it and he went, well, you know what I've always believed is that stand-up should be rare. Stand-up should be rare. Like he kind of turned his nose up at that idea. And it didn't hit me right away. I went, oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. You have a point. I thought about it over a few days and I was like, stand-up should be rare. Like How privileged to be able to just like be creative, like quietly create a way in like the beautiful house that is in a trust in your family's name that you live in for free. Be like, stand up should be rare. And then another thing he said to me while he was there is, you know, when people do this thing where they go, someone said something bad about you and I corrected them, like to make themselves seem like a nice, good friend. And this guy is nice. Like he just doesn't know what he's doing. So he highlighted to me, like, someone else said, you do too many adverts. Someone else said that to me the other day. And I corrected them. I said, well, she's very creative in what she does. And she like puts her own spin on everything she does. And she doesn't align herself with brands if she doesn't like that brand. Like she is actually quite authored in what she chooses to do. But again, in telling me like how great he was in that interaction, he had to tell me that someone else is making like a disparaging judgment about me. Fine. And again, that alone, I was like, yep, you know, got to pay the bills. I am a consumer. I like doing adverts. Sometimes people write really funny, fun adverts. I like it. Like that is who I am. I do like it. But with those two things together and the added detail of when he was with my friend, she paid for a lot. He left and I really like this guy. Like, again, we're all friends. It's fine. But I started thinking to myself, like, stand-up should be rare. And Catherine Ryan does lots of adverts. Like, this guy has always had the safety net of someone else's wealth, someone else's connections. That's not to say he doesn't work hard. He works very hard. But he just doesn't get it. Like, stand-up can't be rare for someone like me, someone with my mindset, like where I come from. I'm very privileged now, but like I still have the mindset of a freelance single mother. Yes, I do a lot of adverts. Why? Because I don't live in a house that like my grandfather bought and put in my name. Like, oh, you should just be quiet and creative. And I am by no means at the same level of working class as a lot of creatives in this country. And I hear what they're saying. Like they do have beautiful, articulate ways of communicating their experience on the platforms that they have now. And this country does this special private school boy thing better than anyone else. And it is that there's a certain part of the country that grows up just with connections that the rest of us have to like make. And with financial backing that they don't even notice because they'll say, well, but I worked really hard, but I had a part-time job. Well, I had a paper route and I like write all my own stuff and I'm up late at night working. Like, yes, you work hard too, but they just don't even imagine like what it's like. Oh, do I do too many adverts? Yeah, I had to pay my fucking rent and feed my child. Just like irked me as all. So, of course, I called my friend up right away and I was like, guess who you never should have been paying for? So I guess my message is like, do not take in a man like this because even though they're still on good terms, they are divorced. She's a single mom again. He doesn't even live in this city. So she's doing a lot of that work, but she sacrificed and she paid for him at that time to have a more comfortable life. And now he's actually like doing very well. He's like super rich now. Of course, that's how it always ends up. And he would have got there anyway, but he didn't even recognize her sacrifice is what I mean. Like he really didn't even recognize it. It's just another drop in the bucket to him. And then he still walks around saying like, stand-up should be rare. Maybe. Here's an email from someone who's married to a disgusting piece of shit. Catherine, following your recent episode with Erica Komisar, I am torn about what to do in my personal life. I am a married mom of young children. My 5-year-old is autistic ADHD and has struggled with emotional regulation since starting school. As a result, I recently had to take long-term sick leave at work as my son had significant autistic burnout. I was struggling to cope with being a mom of 3, one with special needs, an employee, a cleaner, a cook, and a wife. I realized I want well when, trigger warning, I started having, I realized I wasn't well. Yeah, trigger warning, I started having suicidal thoughts. My husband wasn't much help as he comes from an avoidant family that doesn't discuss anything emotional. I accessed talking therapies whilst I was off work, which really helped me mentally. I was able to show up for both my kids and my special needs child as well, and I was there to make sure that my ADHD autistic child had access to the correct support in an educational setting. However, and this, like, so far I'm on board. So far I'm like, oh, wow. Like, being a mom involves a lot of personal sacrifice, and being a mom of a special needs child especially adds a layer of complexity and burnout that I always feel is implied, but it is important to mention it out loud. So, horrible situation to be in if you're having those thoughts. And now we hear what the husband thinks. And this is the bit of the email that fills me with rage. However, my husband was surprised when I took time off. He hadn't realized it was, quote, that bad, even though I regularly told him I felt like I was drowning. By the way, pin in this, these are the husbands who are like, I was totally floored by my divorce. My divorce came out of nowhere. She just started cheating on me after, like, I had been a wonderful partner. She's telling you she's drowning. She's telling you she's telling you. And then you act shocked when you, like, physically notice a difference in where she is. Anyway, he was not happy at all. He didn't feel that he should be fully responsible for supporting us financially. For context, my husband has a good job. He earns 4 times my salary, and we could live on one income if we needed to. In the end, I took 9 months off work, but my husband has now pressured me into going back as our son is doing a lot better and we could save more money. Oh, I wonder why your son's doing so much better. I wonder, like, how weird of a coincidence is it that now he has his mother by his side, his mom is less stressed, less fucking suicidal. Your son's improved. What an idiot. What an idiot husband. I'm not sure about going back to work, as I feel that all 3 of our kids are doing well because I've been home and available. Yeah. However, and I've been less stressed because I'm not trying to juggle so many things at once. My kids would benefit so much more from having me home long term. I felt very alone, though, in the last 9 months, and I've had to carry a lot on my own, such that I'm not sure I want to stay married to my husband. I feel like he's fine with me suffering as long as his job and his finances are uninterrupted. So I'm not attracted to him as a result. Basically, I have the ick. Ultimately, I think I need to earn my own money so that I can plan appropriately. What should I do? So, like, obviously, I cannot tell you what to do. What do I think you should do? Maybe what do the listeners think you should do? If you have anything to add to the advice I'm about to give, please email tellingeverybodyeverything@gmail.com. Once you have, and this is why people with small children don't always stay together. I think this is the headline reason, and it goes for any gender, any shape of a family. Once you have seen your partner not be a good parent, which I think your husband's being, first and foremost, a bad parent. Men, especially traditional men, if they want this role of leadership, and I've spoken about this before, then where is your example? Why are you not leading by example? A good leader, like a good leader of a functioning country, looks at the family holistically. In this case, if it's a husband, his job is to be like, okay, I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to be someone who's all in, who works hard for my family, who utilizes my resources to the best, functionality of this family. I'm also going to rest, take time for myself. I'm also going to speak up when I don't think things are fair. Fine. But, like, what does everybody need? I'm ready to take a hit, especially when, like, your wife and small children are involved, and he hasn't done that. And then you go, okay, well, this is why women lead so often, because we go, excuse me, my leader's not leading. So, like, why don't I just lead on my own? And you never climb down from that ick. So the good news is, the great news is, if you're in the UK and this man, and I just saw a tweet that said, like, something stupid, like 73 billion pounds in unpaid child support is just, like, out, uncollected. But if this man is earning 4 times your salary, presumably as long as you have access to the marital funds, and if you don't, by the way, it's an example of financial abuse, but as long as you do have access and you do have a little nest egg while the legalities are worked out, presumably if you leave him, he would have to give you money forever, especially because you're not working right now, especially because you're doing so well looking after his children. The trouble is, it does cost a lot of money up front to be like, okay, I have a solicitor and a barrister and I'm going to the family courts and I'm going to say the reason I want to leave my husband is because he did not prioritize our autistic child or our other children. So I stayed home to do that. And he's trying to force me back into work. Why? So that they can get lost in the system. And he earns 4 times. Like, wait till he realizes how broke he is when he's paying for his ex-wife and 3 children. Because look what he's getting for free. And this is why men are the real gold diggers. Look what he's getting for free. You say you're an employee, you're a mom of 3, you're a cleaner, you're a cook, you're a wife. Wait till he has to outsource all of that. Who's going to fuck him? Not me. I'll fuck him up. This one's spicy. Catherine, my dad is texting sex workers and he's having group sex. Should I tell my mom? I mean, these are the emails that I live for, and I'm really sorry for like what's going on with you and your family, and you're in a terrible like moral predicament, but thank you so much. You've come to the right place. Okay, Catherine, I hope that you and your family are well, and I'm so sorry for what you're about to read. I'm hoping your objective perspective might help me to process this absolute bombshell. My husband told me last night, your husband found out that my father is texting sex workers and has photos of himself having group sex, and I don't know what to do with this information. This came out as I was complaining to my husband about my father's behavior over the day I had just spent with him. For context, I've always considered my dad to be a difficult man. He's got a short temper, he's obsessed with routine, and he becomes agitated if that routine is not adhered to, regardless of the needs of others. He has a history of aggression to us as children. So basically, he's an asshole. I love that you like pathologized it. You're like, well, he's this way and he's that way, and he likes these things. He sounds like he's just an asshole. His behavior is exacerbated by probable, undiagnosed neurodivergence, as strongly suspected by family. Okay, and an episode of serious illness a few years ago, which has resulted in cognitive changes. Okay. Do you remember when people used to just be assholes, though? Like, maybe no one is. Maybe, like, everyone has been in a small accident that caused some neurological something, or, yeah, neurodiverse. But, like, okay, I get what you're saying about how many people are neurodiverse, and they're just really nice. I can't even remember how the conversation escalated to this, but my husband explained that during one of the many times he was asked to give my dad some tech support, he saw, well, why does a neurodivergent person need tech support? Aren't neurodivergent people like the best ever at tech support? Bobby's in the gym waiting to work out. He's looking at the floor. He doesn't want to get involved in this. So your husband was giving your dad tech support, and he saw a text from him to an unsaved number that said, how much for sex? Oh, it's sad, but I actually think it's so cute. Like, if it was your husband, I'd be so angry. But because it's your dad, and he's asked, like, do you know what is sad? Every once in a while, I get into this, like, groove of I see all problematic men, like little boys. Like, I see every person who's like suffering, or maybe they're just mean, or something's bad about like what the aura they're giving off. And I'm like, oh, that's just someone's baby. So like your dad, someone's baby, is texting, how much for sex? My husband can't remember the specifics. I think he's tried to forget, to be honest, but he got the impression it wasn't the first time, and there were responses from the sex worker. On another occasion, again, while fixing his computer, he saw photos of my father having sex with 2 other people. It also came out that he's expressed to my husband once that my mom isn't really interested in sex anymore, so he's, quote, talking to someone else. He said this not long after he'd been ill, so I think my husband just put it down to the brain injury. Without going into detail, mainly for time, I know this very sexual behavior isn't a direct result of his illness. There's a history of some inappropriate behavior, and I found some suspicious things in the past. First of all, the main problem here is what is wrong with your husband. that he is not coming to you with this information like the second he receives it. Like if Bobby was giving tech support to Finbar Ryan and he saw photos of my dad having group sex, he would be texting me immediately under the table. Bobby would be like, excuse me, I have diarrhea. Like he would do anything to get to his phone and tell me. So straight away, like, what's wrong with your husband? Is he, he's not doing the girl code. Group sex and use of sex workers isn't what I have an issue with. My dad is a human being with a private life separate from his family. And if everyone is consenting, then fine. If my mom is aware of this and gives her blessing, then again, fine. But I am highly suspect about whether or not she knows. Right. Because that is who's not consenting, presumably is your mom. The feeling I'm left with is mostly anger. My dad can no longer drive following his illness, so mom drives him everywhere after partially retiring to care for him. Is she unknowingly driving him to a sex worker's house? Oh, my mom talks about his level of cognitive impairment often to excuse him, even though he's been the same way in some form since we were kids. But it takes some pretty good executive functioning to find, contact, and arrange to meet a sex worker and be part of group sex. So much executive function for group sex. I couldn't do it. It's like rubbing your stomach and patting your head. I couldn't do it. Oh. Is his slightly vulnerable and daughtery presentation an act? Or is my mom supporting him in this? Do you know what? Because Lamar, following the whole Bunny Ranch fiasco, when he died for like a few days, and Khloe Kardashian paid for his rehabilitation, put like a Lamar Odom basketball player size bed in the hospital, like did everything for him, like took over everything, rented him a house, basically brought him back to life. He then pretended that he was in a worse way than he actually was. He acted like he was still very much in the early stages of recovery. And then she went into the house one day and she smelled crack. And she went upstairs, and what was he doing? Smoking crack. When he'd acted like he didn't have a phone, he didn't know how to like contact his dealers, he knew all along. But addiction, not to say that your dad is like addicted to sex work, or I don't know what's going on with your dad. I really don't. Like, I'm floored by this email, but it finds a way, I think, even if you aren't super high executive functioning at other things. Oh, my mom's an absolute queen. She raised the kids. I'm trying to remove any details. You and your brother. She got a degree. She was amazing. DDDD. She did, like a classic mom from the 80s. Just did everything. Is beautiful. Gave this dad a great life. Is my dad's carelessness with the evidence of his behavior arrogance, stupidity, or poor cognition? Is him telling my husband he was talking to someone else of the aforementioned, or does it speak to a greater disrespect of women that he just thought my husband would be okay with this revelation as another man? Yeah, like your husband's going to collude with your dad because they're both men. Do I tell my mom? There's a risk she won't believe me due to her loyalty to her husband. They've always very much been a team. But if she does, her heart will be broken. Their nice life together will be ruined. I'm also worried about her health. If they are still intimate at all, is my dad being safe during these other activities? We are a very close family. I'm worried about what this could do to us. But is it fair that she's being lied to and potentially manipulated, especially when she does so much for him? So what makes me a worse daughter, ruining her life or lying to her? I'm going to give you my standard response, which is, you just can't tell most women if their partner or husband is cheating on them because of what you mentioned. They might already know, or they might be very comfortable, because it doesn't sound like he's hiding it at all. They might be very comfortable in their little bubble and they are being willfully blind to what's going on, or they shoot the messenger. You have to choose very carefully. So if my sister's husband was cheating on her, I would tell my sister. My sister could handle it. If my mom's husband was cheating her, I would tell my mom. Most of my best friends, I would tell. But there are specific women, especially if you don't know them, you just can't involve yourself. They will usually not believe you, or they will believe you. They will leave and then they will go back, but you are kind of cut out of the friendship now because the husband hates you. So or the woman has shame because she took him back and now she doesn't want to see you anymore. You're associated with the deed. So there are other ways to do this though. Like if your husband is super brave, which it doesn't sound like he is because he like sat on this information for a long time and he feels uncomfortable around your dad. But the best case scenario, like let's say this was Bobby. Yeah. So there you go. Perfect example. My dad's wife, Cher Bear. I wouldn't tell Cher Bear if my dad was cheating on her. And that's not just because she's not blood related to me, but I really think she like would be broken by it. And it's not my place because she's living in a wonderful like fantasy because I would be heartbroken too because my dad loves her so much. But let's say Bobby found this shit on my dad's computer. I would have Bobby say to my dad the next time they were together, like, oh, does your wife know? Like, I think I would have Bobby be like, by the way, I saw some stuff on your computer and I'm not going to like bring up exactly what it was, but does your wife know? Is this like an open relationship? Or maybe your husband could say to your dad that he's cheating on you. Be like, oh, I found like these texts because he's going to have to he's doing tech support. Your dad's like, I don't know how cognitively impaired he could possibly be. That he's not going to like put the dots together that this is how your husband knows. Just be like, yeah, I've been using sex workers too because your daughter is not like sucking my dick like she used to. And I'm like, I'm having group sex on the weekends. See how your dad takes that. And if your husband isn't like game, then that's who I would go to. I, as the daughter, would approach my own dad and be like, yo, are you in an open relationship with mom or are you cheating on mom? If you are cheating on mom, you need to end it and to seek actual help for that because she loves you and she has sacrificed everything for you, and be the voice that your mom doesn't have. Like, read him for filth, drag him by his horns, and be like, this is fucked up. Like, you've been an asshole before the brain injury. Don't act like I don't remember those days. And you will not have a relationship with me or any of your future grandchildren. And my husband's not doing your tech support ever again, by the way, unless and until you become mom's like full-time servant and grovel for the mistakes that you've made. That's what I would do as the daughter. Or maybe he'll come back and be like, your mother's into it. She knows that I visit sex workers. Because some women, because there's no emotional attachment, like maybe your mom like truly does not want to fuck him and she feels in her traditional role that he deserves to get it from somewhere and it's a transaction that everyone's happy with. That is a possibility. But I think no one can talk to your mom. All the talk has to happen with your dad. If you disagree, please feel free to weigh in with your own advice. You can message tellingeverybodyeverything@gmail.com and I'll look at those answers next week. That is spicy though. More emails like that, please. That's the shot in the arm this podcast needs. Flying over to Hollywood, California to see what comedian Andrew Johnston, that is Man Drew Bronston on Instagram, has in store for us this week.
Sorry, Gaylors, it's official. Your girl, Taylor Allison Swift and Travis Michael Kelce made it officially official, as 'twas rumored this past Friday, July 3rd at Madison Square Garden. Here are the facts, figures, ways, means, methods, and mayhem in the most concise yet comprehensive rundown you'll find anywhere. Okay, timeline. Thanks to a carelessly leaked NYPD memo literally titled Taylor Swift Wedding at Madison Square Garden, a quaint rehearsal dinner for about 100 people in the venue's smaller theater space on Thursday night gave way to the main event on Friday, in which approximately 1,000 guests descended upon the garden proper for a cocktail hour at 4 p.m., followed by a wedding and reception on the arena floor at around 5:30 p.m. Screens outside MSG flashed "Just TNT Married" around 7:30, which leads us to believe a backlog of blacked-out SUVs caused some party tardiness, combined with some long-winded vow exchanges. The couple reportedly each took 20 minutes apiece to read their bespoke vows from gold-leafed journals. It caused things to drag on a bit longer than anticipated. Should there be any consideration given to guests being a captive audience during vows and or speeches? I know as a comedian, when I've seen people head up there with multiple pages, I reach for a cyanide capsule.
Yes, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are married, and Violet doesn't care that much anymore, if you're wondering what her level of Swiftie is at. I mean, she still does love Taylor Swift, but I'm getting all this information from you, Andrew, not from Violet. I was personally confused when I saw TNT Married or just TNT Married. I really believed that maybe the wedding was sponsored by AT&T, which is like BT or EE in the USA. I don't know. Look, I think both these people are nerds, and that is what is charming about them. They are very much in love. They want to read vows to each other and do the white wedding. I mean, I thought I had seen a picture of the dress. Violet tells me that was AI. But I don't know if one of the world's richest self-made women doesn't get enough attention already. Like, putting myself on a small scale in her shoes, like, even I get enough attention. Even I don't want to have a wedding. But for her to do the white dress, I mean, I suppose she's romantic and she writes all these girly songs. And I'm only assuming it was a white dress, but to do the vows and to do that, like, I don't know how funny their vows would have been, though maybe I don't know them very well and they are really funny. I liked that Adam Sandler officiated. A lot of people had something to say about Madison Square Gardens as the venue, but I think, again, Violet has her foot into being a Swiftie. She said that for security reasons, it had to be there. And that makes sense. Like, there are a lot of guests. J-Lo, Adam Sandler, obviously officiating, Selena Gomez, oh my gosh, I was going to say Gordon Ramsay, Graham Norton, Greg James from BBC Radio 1, Ed Sheeran. Like, there are a lot of guests that might not have been able to attend a destination wedding. If she had done like Kim Kardashian and had it in Italy, I think people would have been. But when you have it right in Manhattan, like right in New York, then everyone on your list is going to come. Nikki Glaser got to go. I mean, it is exciting. It is just something. Leave it to Taylor Swift to give just like a wholesome glimmer of hope in the midst of World War III.
Now, to quote Jessie J, the price tag. While we don't have an official number, Forbes reported that the ostentatious Venice nuptials of billionaire Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez went for somewhere between 20 and 25 million. The luxury wedding planning elite guessed that the Swift-Kelce affair was in the same ballpark, or rather home court, given that it was at MSG. Sports. Quote, I would expect the cost of renting Madison Square Garden for a Saturday night wedding to be approximately $1 million to $2.5 before you even begin building the wedding itself, said one planner to the Stars. Quote, once you add production, security, catering, entertainment, and decor, a Madison Square Garden wedding could very realistically become a $10 million to $20 million plus event. On Thursday, one of Swift's reps announced that the couple had donated $26 million to 20 charities in the very city they were temporarily grounding to a halt, ranging from food banks to animal welfare organizations. So the Occam's razor explanation is that they were matching their wedding costs dollar for dollar. Classy. If this was The Price is Right, are you taking the over or under on it costing $26 million? Bearing in mind that the Bezos wedding was smaller and guesstimated at $26 million, and the Amdani wedding was $1 billion, where do you think this one would land?
I would say over, and who knows, like the Ambani wedding, that huge wedding, where was it? In the UAE somewhere, they were paying for people to come in on private jets. They were putting people up, but they were receiving huge gifts too, like diamonds and jewelry and Lamborghini. So I don't know that it would be on that scale, but I always think it's funny when, and you know what, charity's charity. Like, it's good to do charity anyway, but the highest form of charity is charity that benefits you in no way, and you just do it out of the goodness of your heart. And the second highest form of charity is charity that you do out of the kindness of your heart, but it does benefit you in some way, or you lean into it, you announce it, your press rep leaks it, like, oh, by the way, she gave $26 million to charity. Again, thanks for the $26 million. And then the lowest form of charity is when you just do it to look good. And I don't think it falls into that category. But I mean, why are we hearing about this $26 million as though it's anything to her? Because I just searched their combined wealth as of mid-2026 is $2.2 billion. And so I said, well, how much is $26 million to someone whose net worth is $2.2 billion? And can you explain it comparatively for someone who earns maybe $50K a year in America? So $26 million against a $2.2 billion net worth works out to 0.0118%. It is 100% of their wealth. So if someone's earning 50 grand a year, which I think, you would say a lot of people are in America, and they want to plan a wedding and they want to throw a big party. How much do you think those people are spending on their wedding? Like $5K, $10K? This is, you would be spending comparatively $5.90. So relative to their fortune, $26 million is a cup of coffee to someone on a $50K salary. So they essentially donated a cup of coffee to charity.
The ceremony. Initial reports said Taylor walked down the aisle to the Bridgerton theme, which wouldn't have been wildly out of character, but it's since been clarified that she entered to an orchestral version of her first hit Love Story, to an altar recreated to look like the set from that music video. None other than comedy superstar and close personal bro of Travis's, Adam Sandler, officiated. "Shabba-dabba-doo, you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife," he said. We hope. And during the aforementioned 20-minute apiece vow readings, Swift reportedly had everyone in tears, recalling how she'd once wondered if love would ever happen to her after people spent years saying her life was, quote, too much. Despite a legion of squad members she could force into ill-fitting gowns, Taylor had no bridesmaids, nor did any of Travis's football frat brothers need to play groomsmen. Jason Kelce served as best man, while Taylor's brother Austin served as, quote, man of honor. Regarding the Adam Sandler as officiant of it all, who I understand also did some wedding singer act-outs and antics, if you had unlimited resources and influence, who from either your or Bobby's peak nostalgia bucket would you hire to officiate a la Sandler?
I'm getting into this ceremony now. It actually sounds so cute, and that might just be the way you've told it. Shabadoo! I love Adam Sandler. Like, Travis Kelce and I are on the same page there. Also, Travis Kelce was in the Happy Gilmore remake, so that's how they became friends. And Adam Sandler has got daughters whom I bet absolutely fucking love that their dad officiated Taylor Swift's wedding. I said that to Violet in the car. I was like, oh my gosh, his daughters must have gone wild. And she was like, oh, why aren't you officiating Taylor Swift's wedding? And then I could go, well, I have officiated weddings, by the way. I can't tell you about them because I signed an NDA, but I have officiated a billionaire's wedding before, and I roasted the couple on the rehearsal dinner, and they liked that. I roasted them nicely, and I'm available to do that anytime for tens of thousands of pounds. Okay, right off the bat, I'm thinking Lisa Loeb. You say I only hear what I want to. That would be pretty cool at the wedding. I love Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, so like music from that would be amazing. Obviously, I would love to have Celine Dion there. I don't know though, it'd be too much. Like the like positive side of too much. And yes, for years, Taylor Swift has been dragged in the press for having many boyfriends, and people have said, oh, her life's too much. There's no man who's going to tolerate this life. And I will say, again, even on a very small scale, it is tough sometimes to be like Mr. This, like Bobby Ryan. Every time at Wimbledon, we sat down to dinner and it was so lovely. And we love being invited to Wimbledon. We're so lucky to be in that position, and we have a great day. And I haven't even talked to you about the fucking Daily Mail article that showed me asleep on Bobby's shoulder. I was not asleep during the match. I was asleep briefly between sets, and that is because moms need to like power nap where they can. That does not negate how grateful I was to be in that position and how much I enjoyed the match. And I enjoyed the entire day. But when we sat down to dinner, Bobby's place setting said Bobby Ryan, which sounds like a cool name. And fun fact, there's a hockey player whose name is Bobby Ryan, an ice hockey player. And that is a name that he chose, something to do with his biological dad. So that's not even his name. So everyone knows Bobby Ryan is a cool name. But too much, in the sense that no one is too much for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, you can book Adam Sandler to officiate, and it doesn't like take any gravitas away from you two being the stars. As much as people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's Adam Sandler officiating, it's still like, you're still Taylor fucking Swift. Whereas if Bobby and I got married, which by the way we would not, because even though I was a bit romanced by your description of the ceremony, I'm not a wedding person, but having Celine Dion or having the people we would want, having Pearl Jam play the after party, it would just like dwarf us. Some dreams should not come true.
In terms of wedding decor and motifs, the most tea spilled came courtesy of American Cinema CEO Adam Aron, who, in a since-deleted post, gave a very gushy and detailed rundown of the mise-en-scène. Quote, immediately upon entry, everything, floors, walls, ceiling, was draped in peach and white. Large, blown-up pictures of Taylor and Travis at each age, year by year from 1 year old to late teenagehood, were on display. A small portion of the arena was cordoned off, devoid of any notion that a basketball or hockey game had ever shared that space. Somehow, magically, someone created an outdoor garden at a lush countryside retreat, everything draped off this time in green and white. Real flowers, and I think artificial trees welcomed 15 rows of maybe 75 or so chairs, but surprisingly, it all felt intimate and small. Then the party, an even larger stage set of a secret Madison Square Garden that was just exquisite, with 5-story tall lit, air quote, trees, implying they were artificial. As for the looks, the bride wore Dior, as did the groom. Leading up to the big day, Swift was seen carrying handbags from J.W. Anderson and Jonathan Anderson's Dior, fueling speculation that she'd struck up a relationship with the design house. As for the rest of the fashions, well, the apparent dress code was black tie, which I took as a sort of gentle directive to Travis's man-child sportsmates to just not come in a tracksuit, but it gave the women a bit more leeway. The suggested color palette seems to have been muted earth tones. I could only describe a color I saw repeatedly as gruel, and to that I say, please, sir, may I not have some more? But there were a few exceptions like Gigi Hadid and Lena Dunham in bold pinks. Firstly, to abide by a color palette or not, what is your philosophy?
Please, sir, can I not have some more? I don't know about a color palette. I do like it. I think these ideas are corny, but in the room, when you see that everyone's made an effort, you see that everyone has adhered to a theme, there is power in that. I used to not believe in weddings full stop. And then I went to weddings at the tender age of 19, 20, when my white trash girlfriends started getting married. And everyone booking, time off and standing up and dressing up. I thought like, oh, okay, all these people are invested in you and your choice, and they want to celebrate you and they want you to be in love. I thought that was really beautiful, actually. So color palette, fine. The decor, the flowers, the trees, the gardens. I mean, it all sounds fucking formidable. And I don't know who this guy is who spilled all the tea before deleting it. But good for him. We thank him for his service. He will never be invited to another celeb wedding again. And I think he's off the Christmas card list as well.
And now, Chic or Shite, Taylor Swift's wedding edition.
Okay, Andrew has prepared for me a gallery of guest looks. And straight off the bat, I know who this is. Abigail Anderson Beard. That is Taylor Swift's best friend. She writes a song about her. She sat next to a girl with red hair and she became my best friend. I mean, that's probably the actual lyric. But this girl looks fucking foxy, fierce. She's wearing like a corseted bodice with a satin sort of gathered skirt over it. And she's not even a celeb. She looks fantastic. Bradley Cooper was there. I mean, he just looks like a man in black tie, boring. And I can't believe he and Taylor didn't have a dalliance at some point. Like, were any of her exes there? I feel like that is a missed trick in the universe's fabric. Like, why did Bradley Cooper and Taylor Swift not date? Camila Cabello, I think, has done too much for a wedding. You might have seen she's wearing this like balloony, lacy red thing. I think this like scarlet red, like big dress at someone else's wedding is a bit gauche. Ed Sheeran and his adorable wife wearing like pops of summer color. He's got a really bright blue suit on and she looks fetching in yellow. Love it. Chic. The best look of the wedding. Okay, my living nightmare. Actually, no, because I'm a girl's girl and I would celebrate this. But have you guys seen, if you haven't, stop the podcast now and Google Gigi Hadid at this fucking wedding. She wore like a sparkly, but not sequin. Like, I think sequin can kind of look cheap. I don't know what they're doing to achieve this like texture and sparkle, but is the most beautifully cut, beautifully designed pink dress. Gigi Hadid looks like Gigi Hadid. She's got her hair like this dark blonde, like blonde Hollywood glamour wave. She's got diamonds on. Like that is the last thing you want to see at your wedding. Banned. I would have security ban her at the door were I less of a girl's girl. J-Lo, chic. Now she's just wearing black, but what a spin on a little black dress. It's like got this, what's that cut called? Kind of mermaid. You know when it like hugs your hips and then it floofs out? I should know this, but I forget. It's like a tight, cinched, almost Kardashian body. And then this beautiful skirt and it's longer at the back. She's got great shoes with it. J-Lo looks just incredible. Slicked back hair, diamonds. This is the way to do a black dress. Chic. Karlie Kloss, who the ones who want to believe Taylor's a lesbian have this thing that maybe she made out with. Karlie Kloss looks hot, very chic, in a strapless gold satin dress with like ruching. Lena Dunham, chic. I saw 2 outfits from Lena Dunham, and in this one, she's wearing a black skirt and like a really dramatic hot pink top with an especially special big blue flower on the lapel, and she gave a speech. And apparently in the speech, I heard this little tidbit, which may be false. She said that American football was gay. Selena Gomez, chic. Tree Payne, chic. Zoe Kravitz, chic. So much chic. And what a night to look your best, because you're going to get a lot of press mileage off going to this thing, but also you're going to be seen by other like super famouses. And that's fun. If you're all in the same industry and you're all friends, it's fun. But also if you're single, this is the place to meet a man. If you like men, which hopefully you don't waste your time. But one of the Wimbledon days, we were invited by Warner Brothers, which is the parent company of TLC. TLC have Ed Gamble's new show Unacceptable with Joanne McNally and Richard Ayoade as captains. They have Mock the Week. TLC are making some really big moves into comedy. So if you don't know where to find that channel, we get it through Discovery, that app on our TV, but there are, many ways to get TLC. They made a really cool move at Wimbledon. Warner Brothers let TLC invite people, and you never know who you're going to see in the hospitality suite. And I love that I'm comparing this to Taylor Swift's wedding because Reese James was there. It was fun. We show up. I had no idea. It was all comedians. Sarah Pascoe was there. Roisin was there. Angela Barnes was there. Hugh Dennis was there. Dara O'Brien was there. It was like the most fun. It's just fun being around people in your industry, because especially I think for these famouses like Taylor Swift and her friends, or her like ilk, her peers, they're so famous that they don't see each other very often because they're all on tour, they're always doing their own thing, or they're busy. So hopefully this is a night that everybody let loose. And I did see some shite looks, but I think a lot of those most shite looks were either like Taylor Swift's friends from childhood or maybe Travis Kelce's athletes, like wives, and I just didn't feel like it was appropriate to drag them.
And now, who was there? Well, 1,000 fucking people. And this shouldn't have come as a surprise, as Taylor outlined her philosophy to chat show maven Graham Norton before literally inviting him a while back. Quote, end quote, I think the only stressful weddings are the one where you have a small amount and people are on the bubble and you have to evaluate or assess your relationship with them to see if they should be there. I'm not going to do that. Well, turns out she did do some evaluation and assessment because there were some people very conspicuously not there. And to find out whom, we're going to play a game called Swift or Shrift. I'm going to present you with a list of names, and you're going to tell me Swift if they were there or Shrift if not. First, Hollywood director extraordinaire Steven Spielberg. Swift or Shrift?
I think Shrift.
Swift! He reportedly took his personal helicopter to the venue. Next, Mr. and Mrs. Ryan and Blake Reynolds Lively. Swift or Shrift?
I know for a fact they were Shrift.
Shrift. Fellow leggy, ethereal blonde Lively was at Taylor's side for the Chiefs' 2024 Super Bowl win, but getting caught up in the Justin Baldoni drama proved to be the straw that broke the wedding invitation calligrapher's hand, as it were. Blake and Ryan posted photos on their IG at an upstate New York horse farm as the wedding was underway to really say, nay, we're not there. Next, Taylor's power publicist, Tree Payne. Swift or Shrift?
That's her manager. We know Swift.
Duh. The entire operation staying mostly under wraps was her doing. Next, auto-tuned rap king, T-Pain. Swift or Shrift?
He must be Swift, because why else are you saying his name?
Shrift. Although it was a sea of randos at the reception, I think he would have been a hit. Next, Naughty's nostalgia act power couple Nelly and Ashanti. Swift or Shrift?
I love that they're back together, but I don't think they were there. Shrift.
Swift! The two posted a congratulatory selfie to the couple from their limo on the way home. Or at least we'll take their word that they were there. Next, banes of our collective existence, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. Swift or Shrift?
For the dancer drama alone, this better be Shrift.
Shrift. Did Taylor and Travis really need those two weirdos trolling the reception looking for a third? Not really. Next, Sapphic soccer star Abby Wambach. Swift or Shrift?
We say football Swift.
Swift! The former World Cup winner turned Diva Cup wearer, and Swift has been close friends ever since Taylor brought her on stage during the 1989 tour. Finally, Prince William and Princess Kate. Swift or Shrift?
I know that is Shrift because I did see her online visiting sick kids at a children's hospital.
Shrift. Even though Will teased that he might be getting an invite and appeared on Travis's podcast the week of the wedding, apparently the royal couple's heavily dropped hints were meant with a blank stare. Finally, some odds and ends. The couple reportedly requested absolutely no gifts. Do you abide by that?
I don't get people gifts even when they request gifts. I am out of gifts. I hate giving adults gifts. I don't even like giving children gifts anymore when it's their birthday because I'm just introducing more plastic into a tired mother's home. And at this level, like, yeah, if you, let's say you are Camila Cabello, you're not going to give a gift to Taylor and Travis unless it's like some hokey shit. Like this is when it comes in handy to be friends with Blake Lively. She would have like knit them a blanket.
According to the Daily Mail, Swift is taking Kelce's last name legally, but not professionally. Lena Dunham reportedly made jaws drop during her toast to Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce at their wedding reception when she joked American football is just straight guys reenacting gay porn, according to the Daily Mail. The crude crack evoked both gasps and laughs from the crowd of 1,000, with Taylor deeming it genius. I will say this, the true analog to gay porn in American sport is UFC, right down to the underoos they fight in, but you go, girl.
I will just close by saying there is a comedian called Robbie Hoffman, who I'm sure Andrew knows, and I just really loved her press tour for her new Netflix special. I think she's funny on podcasts, funny on chat shows. She just seems to be one of those people who's funny all the time. And then her personal life really interests me because she is married now to a lady called Gabby. I forget her last name because we don't get The Bachelor in the UK, or maybe we do, but I haven't watched it. But Gabby was first a cheerleader, and then she was a contestant when there was a boy bachelor, and then she did so well with that, she became the bachelor herself, or the bachelorette, and then there were loads of men. She had 25 boyfriends, and she whittled them down because she's really compelling and famous now in her own right. She's really funny on socials. Gabby, I'm going to figure it out. Anyway, she's married to Robbie Hoffman. I've been watching a lot of Robbie Hoffman's stand-up, and she's so funny. And she has a bit about how football is gay. This is where I'm going with this. Her name is Gabby Windy. Follow her on TikTok. She's just on there talking every day. And Robbie Hoffman says, it is so gay to get another man's number on a shirt, like pay extra to have another man's name embroidered on a shirt and you wear it. And I'm not going to do the bit, but it's a funny bit. And, I would just like to close by saying a lot more straight men are gay than you think and know. So let that sit with you until next week. Please look after yourselves. I have a show at the Roundhouse in Camden in London on August 3rd with Judy Love, Michelle DeSwart, Jack Skipper, and Lou Sanders, and me. So if you want to see me do stand-up in the near future, that's the only place I'm doing it for a while, because I'm trying to take Erica Komisar's advice and be home a little bit more with my baby. You can pre-order my new book, Firstborn Daughter, that is going to be delivered straight to your door without waiting at all, August 22nd when it comes out. Or not August, I'm so sorry, I lied, October 22nd. Phew, thank God for that. And pre-ordering really matters to the author. Bookstores like it, publishers like it. Please pre-order it if you think of it. And then it's like a little present to yourself in October. You'd be like, oh yeah, I pre-ordered this. I think you can pre-order it on Audible as well, possibly as a download, I'm not sure. Where can you get it in other countries? People have asked me this. I don't know. I don't think I have an international distribution deal, but maybe I do. This is not my area. I do the thing, I come and do the podcast, I write the book, the end. Thank you for listening. See you soon.